This is the Hanayama Coaster Puzzle. When I first got this puzzle, I actually got it at Christmas time last year, and I ordered several different puzzles for myself for Christmas, because that's the kind of Christmas presents I like. Anyway, so I got this puzzle and a group of other ones, and my family started taking them, opening the boxes and trying to look at them, and I noticed that this one looked to me like it would come apart very easily, but putting it back together might be a bit challenging. So I left some like little bands, like twist ties, on the edges of this so that it wouldn't fall apart, and set it aside, and then started fiddling with all the other puzzles, trying to take them apart and let the kids play with them and stuff. And my daughter came over to me and she said, "Hey, Dad, I figured this one out. Look, I got it apart." And so that was that. This is my fun story with the coaster puzzle. Now let's look at it a little bit. A couple of things to look at. This has one piece that's labeled. It has both the sort of screws holding it together. You can see here and here. It also has the name coaster and the Hanayama. So there's only one of the three pieces that is labeled. Personally, I use that as my base and sort of work around it with my other two. Something else you might want to notice is that with this one, all of the grooves are in a row, and then the straight section is all in a row. And this one is a little bit interspersed, where you'll have a groove on either side. So the sections of the part that are up are sort of smaller for this one. So looking at that, you'll know this piece is the one that definitely goes in and out of the other pieces. And these two, the coaster piece and this one with the longer kind of flat segments, those ones are going to have more flat on top. So that's something to look at when you are trying to solve this. Before I give the solution that I use, I just encourage you to think about that for a little bit. It is a Hanayama puzzle. It's well put together. The kids were not able to break it as they messed around with it, which was kind of cool and fun. I love Hanayama puzzles. You know that if you watch the channel. So that's all the hints I'm going to give you before I go into our spoiler warning. Let's get into the solution. I take the coaster Hanayama piece and I set it flat like that. I'm going to use this as my base. The next piece I get is this one that has the long flat segment on there, and then a long flat segment that goes kind of along here. And that piece I bring over here to this bottom left corner. And this one here, the interchanging piece, I'm going to actually bring that over to this bottom corner as well. But I'm going to do that in just a sec. First, I'm going to put this piece in place. And the place where it goes is the long flat part that has one edge. See, there's a long flat part on this side that has two corners almost. The one that has one corner, it's going to fit up here right next to the coaster sign. But before I click that into place, I'm going to bring this one over to that corner. Now I fit this one here into place, just as you see there. This one now I can look at separately. And as I was showing you earlier, it has a lot of little small segments of sort of flat pieces. I go to the section that has a one long segment here, and that is going to go where you see indent, 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 indent all in a row. So you can see that that one's going to lay flat right into those spaces there. And when I set it down like this, I can look and see, is this the correct placement for it? By looking at the indents. Is this indent opposite an indent here? Yeah, it is. Will those two fit together? Yeah. Will this one go directly below there? Yeah. So you can kind of see that this is the eventual final place of all the pieces. Now I just have to get them interwoven where they're supposed to be. So if you look closely, you've got an indent there So this piece is going to have to go under this one and under there. So this section here, or just this little corner here, I'm going to pull it out and put it on top of this. Oh, whoa. Kind of all fell apart there. So let's put it back where it was. Everything was back right, just like this. So I'm going to take this piece again and bring it back and put it on top. That's the only movement. Everything else stayed exactly where it is. Now that kind of makes it so that you can't lay it flat anymore, but it is closer to the solution, even though it kind of feels like it's not. And if you look at every intersection of pieces, they're lining up, except for this one here and this one here. Those two, again, you see the grooves there, they have to go underneath this piece, or yeah, underneath this piece. So I'm going to do similar to what I did before. I'm going to take it apart a little bit and slide this piece back into the center and over top of that without moving or changing anything else, if I can. Stop moving. So this piece again is the one I'm sliding in and around there. Everything else is, I've tried to stay as stable as possible. And when you have those pieces in, then it's a matter of just sort of lining up where all of them go, and just like magic. Oh, come on. Did it shift too much? There it is. It'll fall into place. So this one here had shifted, this piece here had shifted down a little bit. But there it is.